Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Crazy Women Country. I'm Donna.
I'm Paula, and today we have Angie and Chris with us. How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
You're fabulous. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Oh, doing good. Doing good.
Amazing. As we were talking about weather before, warm and toasties-ish, and I'll send some warm weather your way.
Yes,
Yes.
please do. We're up here in Ohio.
The most important question ever: who is Angie and Chris? We like to start off with the hard questions.
Yeah. Well, we are a duo called Eleyet McConnell, and I would say we've come into this a lot later in our lives than a lot of people. We've been performing and singing between the two of us for many, many years. Not always together, but
I got 54 years in this June 20th, but who's counting?
Yeah.
In various
Congrats.
bands, records, videos, all that stuff. And I've recorded a lot over the years, but usually those songs or those albums I put on a shelf after I've listened to them, and then I don't listen to them for years. I pick them up, put it back. But I like what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
What we've done is it's a lot of real emotion. I mean, we experience pretty much everything that these songs are written about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're real stuff.
And there's some good, bad, and ugly, and all that stuff. But
all the things.
Put
and
together.
I think too, because we've got so many years under our belt, not necessarily, out there as exposed as we are now, but we've had a lot of life lessons, a lot of stuff. So we are not really in this to conform to anything. We're doing what we do. We hope people like that. And I think that's that's a little bit different. We're not trying to sound like anybody. We're not trying to write a song like anybody. We're not
You can't trap
trying to write a
box.
hit. We're just
writing,
doing our stuff. And we don't like any one type of music. I think it's pretty limitless to the stuff that we listen to. You might think we have personality disorder if you listen to our playlist, probably. But that's the glory of it. There's something for everybody. And I think our work. That's cool.
That's perfect. So you just do what you love, and that's just amazing. So that's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
And you have amazing music out there. So, I definitely am intrigued by your playlist, because mine kind of goes from Dolly to over to Jay-Z to whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And if I'm working out, it's metal all the way. Like
I'm more the softer stuff,
He is
really soft music and stuff.
Bread.
Oh, you see,
70s.
I would have flipped that round the other way.
Yeah, no, that's it.
I'm the rocker. He's the
We balance it out, Now when we write, I write more rock and roll kind of stuff.
True.
But then we have to tame some of it down.
Yeah.
Weird.
I love it.
We're actually
cool.
getting ready to go back in the studio soon, and one of the songs that we're going to do has a real
heavy feel to it.
Yeah.
We're concepting the entire video and everything to go behind it. So
can't wait for that.
It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
Can't wait for it.
So let's talk about your most recent LP out, Crazy World. We love it, obviously. So tell us what it was like putting it together, the emotions, I know it's your baby because it's the most recent. So tell us a little about it.
So it's the first LP that Chris and I have put together as a duo, as a organized group of any kind. And I would say this was a labor of love and a learning experience more than first and foremost. It's a lot of things, but a learning experience, at least for me, because the studio is so mechanical and there's so many moving parts behind the scenes. And so that was very eye-opening and also exhilarating, because you get all different ideas when you get a producer involved and they're like, hey, did you think about trying this? No, never, but I'll try anything, And so watching something come to life, maybe even a little bit differently than what you had in your head when you wrote it, is really fun. On the flip side, there was a couple instances where it's like, no, this is how I want it. This is how this one's, means a lot more. And I want it like this. I don't want it tinkered with too much. That only happened once, I think, but
I think she might have won that one.
I did, but but no, I think it was, and then it's like surreal because it's been a dream, at the same time. Never did I ever think that I would actually have an album that I've written or co-written, almost every song on it.
She never wrote. She never had this desire to write, and that's all I do is write.
Yeah.
And when we got together in a cover band, and I would throw a lot of riffs out there, just waiting for her to pick up on it. You can't force somebody to write music.
Yeah.
And then eventually one day she listened. And I've got recordings because we record everything on our phone, So I mean, there's just a slew of songs that we've written,
all kinds of stuff,
made up at the time, and you can listen to where all of a sudden, she's out there fiddling around. All of a sudden, she catches and she starts putting some notes behind it. I'll sing a little melody and then she'll take it from there.
Yeah,
that's a lot of how we write songs. A couple of these songs on the album, she completely wrote these from music and lyrics and everything from the beginning to the end. We spent 2 years on this album. The first year we basically took that, shelved it, because we came into the studio as a two-piece and not knowing exactly how we're going to record it. You got to get your groove going into the studio. Then the producer's like, well, I got a guitar player. Let's try this, Now we offered all these musicians that we've played with an opportunity to be on the album, and we just didn't get a lot of takes.
Well, life is
we were dealing with pandemic
people, it's hard to manage a schedule. It takes a lot of commitment and time. And some people just don't have that, and that's fair.
So we have some session musicians that came in. Actually, we sent the stems to them. And we gave them creative freedom to put on there. And luckily for us, they felt what we felt. So we didn't have to change anything or anything. Usually what was sent to us, we kept. And then the producer goes in there and throws these little things that's in the background and Hammond B3s and synthesizers and stuff. So we got our routine down now. Basically, it's just me, her, and the drummer. And she'll throw a scratch vocal. And the main thing we're trying to do is just capture that drum track. 90% of the time, the bass track stays and the keyboard track that she lays stays, but she'll redo the vocals on it.
And, my brain never shuts off in the studio. So I'd probably say notorious or infamous. I don't know what JD would say, our producer, but we're like, I'll hear, we'll be playing back and be like, oh my God, let's try it. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. I start hearing all these things and it's like, we're down to the 11th hour. And why are you changing the song? Good God, it's going to take forever.
She's real good about, and I don't know if I want to say good, because I always sat there with a little angst in my feel for this. I'm like, why are you all of a sudden throwing all these harmonies that we've never practiced before?
Feel it.
And then she lays them out, and she harmonizes on just about every song to herself on this album. And I keep telling her, I said, we got to do this live.
Like, I got to do that.
I got to do these harmonies.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, sometimes on some live shows, I'll get up there in the stratosphere doing a harmony, and then she'll just, for some reason, just stop singing.
Okay, one time I did that. It was totally by accident.
Twice.
Well, the first time I did it was totally by accident, and it was hilarious. And I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't even get my breath.
And I'm like,
I'll be darned. Like the next time we did the song, I did it again. I didn't mean to that time, I swear.
Yeah, don't let me hanging out there like that.
That was horrible. I felt bad.
I love it.
Yeah. We're proud.
At least she didn't mean to do it, so
I really didn't.
we have
either time, but it totally looked like I did, but I didn't.
We have a lot of songs right now. We could go 9 or 10 albums. We could actually
have a lot of stuff
of 12 songs an album.
Yeah.
And picking the 12 songs for this album was a bit of a, it was a blend, because it's not chronological. If you listen to our songs, for the first songs we wrote all the way through, you'll understand our relationship, which is, compatible to everybody else out there. We all go through the same thing. Mm-hmm. But picking one, we wanted to throw a little bit of versatility in there at the same time. They tried to put us in a box. You know, what genre are you going to be? You know, how do we promote you? Because you know,
it's
they're
the hardest question to
no,
answer.
if we stay in a box in one genre, we're missing out on 80% of our songs. You know, so you know, if we never leave Urbana, Ohio, I'm fine. You know, we're going to do what we want to do. We're not desperate. We're old enough and mature enough that we don't, you know, it's not a do or die for us.
But we're loving it, and
lucky
it's
for
our
us,
passion.
things are really moving.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. So, what is it like working together? Obviously, being a couple and everything else. Does the work stay at work and home stays at home, or does it sort of, you know?
no, and I'll tell you why. It's not just because we have the music at home, but in my day job, I work from home. He's retired. We're stepping on each other all the time. In fact, I think what we have to do sometimes is figure out how to, you go do your thing and I'll go do my thing. Every once in a while, you know, you kind of need to have some healthy space, because we are together all the time and we love hanging out together. He's my favorite person to hang out with, you know.
We do a lot of laughing. We have a lot of fun.
But there are times where it's like, okay, I need a minute. And I think we're good at knowing.
We don't argue per se. She just kind of will give me a look. That's all it takes.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love it. That's great. Fun.
Like, wow. Yeah. What's going on with you today, sir?
But every day's new. And that's the one thing I really love about this relationship. Every day is new. And there's nothing that feels like it's boring or that we're losing touch with each other. I believe that we're just getting off.
I do too.
Just getting off on our feet, you know, and running. There's so much ahead of us, so much more creativity. Our problem is we can sit down and just keep writing song after song after song. And boy, you got to stop that.
Our producer JD, he was like, "Why haven't you guys done this before?" Well, because, and so we start showing him all the stuff we've written, and he goes, "Okay, I see the problem now." Because there's so much stuff. Like, what do you pick? How do you pick it? And that was a hard thing for us, was to pick what went on this album.
Yeah,
I'm real thrilled with what we chose, but that was not easy. That took a bit.
It's not difficult for us to write.
No.
Together, to work together, to create something together. You know, sometimes if she gets herself hurt over something, you know, it's not me anymore, but it's something else in life that'll get her. And she'll write some beautiful songs out of that. You know, I think everybody, a lot of musicians and bands that I know, when they get their heart hurt or their feelings or emotions damaged, that's when deep inside something comes out.
Some of my best work came from
best comes
those
from
times.
Yeah. It's hard to be really happy and everything's good and write a song, you know.
I can understand that. I love it.
So since you write so much, have you thought of like pitching to other artists, maybe? Like something that you're like, this isn't something we would do, but this is a really great song someone needs to do, or a duet maybe.
We have talked about that a little. I wouldn't say we've dove into it too much, but I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. Just because I can, there are some things I can hear other people doing.
So early in the game for us right now with the first record and everything, it's like you're kind of holding your babies close to you, you know?
Yes.
Now, if somebody offers us a substantial amount of money and wants one of our songs, I'm sure we'll release that.
Sure we'll say yes.
And then there's the business aspect of this whole thing. And it's not like it used to be. Back in the old days, when you're recording on a 2-inch reel-to-reel tape, you just pretty much get a 45 and you put it out there. Now you have all this digital platforms and these algorithms and all this going on. You guys know,
the machine.
There's a lot going on. So you have to cover all the bases. And Angie, she works in the executive field, so she likes to take that stuff and really get deep into it. And I'm retired, so I don't.
He's just not interested.
No. I trust
I see a reoccurring theme of being retired.
Yes.
I'm retired.
Yes. I quit everything thinking.
Yeah.
We're renovating the house, so right now I'm really busy doing that.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's what I want to do. I want to retire and just renovate the house instead of like renovating the house or doing something while working full time. And yeah, no.
Yeah. But you'll find out when you retire, you're busier than you've ever been in your life. It's like
That's
this.
the truth.
Where'd I find the time?
That's the truth.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. Is it like a day off? Like when you took a day off before and you would be busy doing stuff, and would be the same theory?
Yeah, and there's no boss, and I don't work well when I'm not guided. I usually have to have somebody tell me what to do.
That is a very true
You give me a month to do something, I'll do it in the last hour,
Yeah.
get it done.
That's the one thing that also makes us work so well, I think, is he is not the big picture guy. You give him the big picture and then we're having a meltdown soon because there's too many things to do, and how are we ever going to get this done in this sort of time frame? And he'll like be like, so it's like, here, you take this section, this is yours, go deal with that. He'll rock that to the moon and get it all done, where I'm more of the strategic, make the plan, execute kind of person, and it works out really well. And before he knows it, it's like, oh yeah, this is done, and
I don't quite do it like that, but
no, it's all good. So know your strengths, right?
Yeah,
absolutely know your strengths, your weaknesses, and then work on both of them.
Yeah.
So tell us, like, who are some of the sheroes and heroes that have inspired you musically?
Yeah, I come from the 70s. So a lot of them, and like I said, I was listening to Chicago, and I was listening to Bread and America, bands like that. And then my best friend Billy Webb, I got hooked up with him. Next thing you know, we're listening to Black Sabbath and BTO and stuff like that. As a bass player, my biggest influence that really made me want to continue playing bass, I've been a bass player the whole time, and it was Pink Floyd. It was Roger Waters. The way you can take that bass and really create a mood with it, Now you got Stanley Clarke and people like that. And I listen to them, but I don't feel that, some of the old blues music now, it's different now, but back then for me as a bass player, bump, 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 I didn't feel that. So yeah. There's a lot of bass players out there right now. I wouldn't consider myself anything exceptional. There's some really exceptional bass players, but I can feel it, and because I can feel it, especially when we're playing our duet, it's easy to flow in and out of her voice, and accentuate what's going on there.
For me, I have a few people. So as a songwriter, hands down, it's Merle Haggard.
Storyteller.
I grew up with country music all around me. That was my dad, huge country music fan. My mom, huge country music fan. Mom's a gospel singer, still plays in church. So I think you hear that in my voice because I grew up in church. And there's a tone to that. You can always tell, oh God, you're in church. And then vocally, I am a huge Paul Rodgers fan. And what I love about Paul Rodgers is how free he is. No cliche because he was in the band Free, but where he's just this free-spirited vocalist, and I adore it. And I could listen to him all night and all day the next day. Michael McDonald is another one. It's just so full of soul that we got to see them last summer, and I was absolutely tripping out the whole entire time because there was Michael McDonald just several feet away from me, and I was having a total stroke over the whole ordeal. The best night ever.
Something that's kind of ironic. We both grew up in Pentecostal churches.
Yeah, we did.
With the saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost and speaking in tongues and all that stuff. And we swayed away from that as we got older. Pretty much when we graduated, didn't have to go to church anymore. For me, but that did have an influence. There's a lot of hymns, and so we got that background kind of familiar to us both in that regard.
But I love Led Zeppelin. I love Beth Hart. I love so many different artists.
Yeah.
But those three that I first mentioned, those are the ones that I would say have influenced me the most. I think Merle Haggard's probably the best storyteller that ever lived, that ever will live. I don't know. I think
every week I got a new artist,
raw about him.
For a couple of weeks there, or about a month, I was into Steely Dan real big. Now I grew up when they were, actually putting albums out. I love Steely Dan. But you just didn't really listen to it. And the older you got, and I know more than really got deep into that when the singer passed away. It would be 2 years this June 8th.
Oh, on Steels and Pearls.
Yeah, on Steels and Pearls.
Yeah.
But every week there's somebody new, and anymore, there's so much music that you can find out there that you don't hear on the radio, and that's the stuff that I think is really real, and you can really feel what's going on. There was a period of time a few years ago where everybody was playing a ukulele, and you don't hear much ukulele out, or xylophone. There's no xylophone solos like there used to be.
Fact, I think, is Chris nor I were really ever formally trained either in any.
It's all by ear.
Now, having said that, yes, I played the band and I learned to read the treble clef, a very long time ago. But I've sang since I was born, I believe. But I've never had vocal lessons, and I never had piano lessons. I just one day, my mom plays, and so I grew up around it. But one day I just sat down, about 8 years ago, and said, I got to learn, and I did.
Yeah, she shows up with this keyboard. We're in that cover band.
It is,
and I had to be patient with it because she was doing dun dun dun, 8 notes or 4 notes and a pause, 3 or 4 notes and a pause. Eventually,
oh my gosh,
became real fluid with it. But now, she can write all kinds of stuff.
So it's like, don't ask us what chord what this is in. I think it's this. I mean, we probably make the trained people insane. John Paul Jones, although I think he's a god, would probably be like, oh, these two, my God, I can't even. Because he writes scores of music and is this mastermind. But we would make him crazy, I think.
That's very cool. I love it.
So, would you like to do our crazy questions?
Yes.
Sure.
I'm ready.
Wonderful. I promise, again, we won't get arrested yet.
Ha! Yes. Ha. I don't know if we should ask these questions, but trust these.
I'll do it. I'm ready. I'm intrigued.
I have the good ones in front of me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I'll give you my cell number after this, just in case you need to get a hold of me too.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay. First one. This is nice and easy. What's your favorite form of transport?
Oh, you probably.
Your form of transport?
Yeah.
You would be the Jeep.
It's my Jeep.
Your Jeep.
Yeah. It's the Jeep.
Mine's my Jetta, but anymore I'm into the mini bikes and go-karts.
Awesome.
Yeah, we just moved out to an acre of land, where we're renovating the house, and it's like I gotta have
go-kart, mini bikes.
Bring all the family over, the kids. We got a lot of kids. We got a big family between her and I. So
6 kids between us.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome.
Everybody racing around the house. That's so cool.
Oh my God, I know.
I know where I'm going on holiday now.
We're coming to your house.
Oh, it's a good time.
It's fun time.
It's a good time.
It's fun time.
It is not dull.
It brings a lot of life to the neighborhood.
You should like to do shots and hot sauce.
Yeah.
I was about the hot sauce.
There's always hot sauce competitions around here. I do not forget, but
no. I can sit and watch on cheerlead.
Yeah. I know. I'd be like, y'all are stupid. I can't. I'm not doing it.
All the guys and boys were
you guys are stupid.
Oh my God, you're mad. I love it.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so tell us something on your bucket list.
Oh, we were just talking about a bucket list. I want to go tour like the Mediterranean, but I don't want to go to necessarily the most popular things like Paris and Rome. Like, yes, I would love to see those places, but I want to go to the countryside. I want to go to see where the real people live. I want to go spend time, sneak in somebody's back door and watch some lady who's, cooked for however many years for a huge Italian family and just see what they do. I would love to do something like that. That to me would be
Austria. I'd like to go
Unbelievable.
visit Austria.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some rocket launches, SpaceX rocket launch, or we're actually going to go down to near Boca Chico, where the Starship is going on. Elon Musk, I mean, that stuff. I did a lot of I worked at an aerospace company and retired after 43 years working there, and so aircraft. I didn't get into rockets, but did blast off a few times.
Sounds like fun.
So
okay, if you have a bad day, do you have a go-to TV show or film?
My go-to show for everything is Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang
I can watch it nonstop
every day.
I love Big Bang Theory.
Yes, I was watching it before I got here.
Watched every season of it, and it was just awesome.
I will even tell him that was very Sheldonian of you, because he has these little Sheldonistic tendencies, I call it. Yeah,
she can watch the same show.
I can.
I know 5 or 6 times she's watched this particular episode,
can't get enough of it,
and laughs as if it's the first time she saw it.
It's so funny. Big Bang Theory.
The Blacklist for a while there, and I couldn't understand that. And then she got me hooked on it.
But Big Bang. That's
Big Bang Theory rocks.
Yeah, that show makes me happy.
Yeah, mine's YouTube. I YouTube stuff all the time.
He watches airplane crashes.
Airplane crashes,
he's fascinated by airplane crashes.
I worked a lot on aircraft too, so
I must admit, you've had the documentaries of the crashes and how they go into it and how it happens, and it's like, it's amazing to watch, but you're like,
what's amazing, I've been involved in some restorations of some aircraft, and like the flying lab, the Grimes Flying Lab. If you get a chance, Google that. The wings are held on by 4 bolts the size of my thumb.
It's not information I need to know when I'm flying in a plane.
The engine that's set in the nacelle and that's pushing the entire plane through the air is held on by 3 bolts the size of my little finger. So you got a lot of faith in heat treating.
That does not need to know information.
That's kind of scary, actually.
It is not. I know.
I feel like we're starting a documentary on air disasters or something. Like,
that's one of my favorite shows too.
Oh my god,
it is a great show. I cannot watch it though if I'm like getting close to flying, because then I start thinking about all those things as I'm getting on the plane, and I'm like,
go
take a breath. It'll be fine.
Get a tail seat. There's always the tail always sitting there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So when I'm falling from the sky, about to burst into flames, I'll be like, there's a bolt. One of those 4 bolts came off. I know it. Yeah.
I figure if you're going down, I'm going to Yahoo all the way,
Yeehaw and all me now. I'll be freaking out. Anyway. Sorry.
Tell us the last thing you read.
Oh, I read an email. That was the very last thing I read. That was an email. About merchandise. Yeah.
Instructions.
Yeah.
Instructions.
We are very exciting readers, aren't we?
Putting stuff together. Instructions. I read documentary stuff, or autobiographies or biographies, and mine's like Amelia Earhart or things like that, all people who have made impacts.
The last book I read was Bill Barr's book, One Damn Thing After Another. I was curious about that. That was a good one. It was interesting. It was interesting. Very interesting.
And the Bible. I'll read some out of the Bible.
Yeah, he does.
So I have to ask now with airplanes and everything like that. Okay, so we were watching something with again DB Cooper. Do you think he survived?
Yeah. Yes, I do think he did.
I think he survived, but the thing is, 1980 they found $20,000 in $20 bills that the serial numbers matched along a riverbed. He could have planted that or something, but many people have. There's 4 or 5 guys basically that they suspect might be, and they're usually from Florida. It's
probably my neighbor. It's okay. I won't. Don't worry. I won't turn my neighbor Ron in.
Yeah, that was risky. It was a cold day.
I do think he was. I do think he was, or at least he survived that.
He had big.
Maybe he died somewhere else, but
yeah. I think he got away with it.
Craziness.
I'm glad you impressed you, DB Cooper.
I'll be talking about DB Cooper all night now.
I have to look it up now. I didn't need DB Cooper.
It's a fascinating story.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. If you could write with anyone, dead or alive, who would you write with?
Merle Haggard all the way. Yeah. Yeah. If I could even speak. if I saw the man. I don't know that. I think I would be absolutely taken by just him. I think, he was part of my childhood. He's something.
Well, David Gilmour, probably. I'd be interested to see how I could stand against that. Be willing to take the try.
Why not?
He's awesome.
So, what is your game plan for zombie apocalypse?
We have a bus. It's a short bus, and we're gonna bug out.
4-window short bus that we got solar panels on it. We got a hydraulic lift bed. We got stove, refrigerator, microwave, plenty of batteries.
Yep.
And 3 months supply. We're ready.
Yeah.
We're preppers.
Yeah. We can bug out.
Yeah. And plenty of guns, ammo, and knives.
There you go.
That's the important part.
His mother was Mexican. Yeah, so he's got knives.
Lots of knives. Always
carry. He's always got a knife on him.
Matter of fact, we got to go to Columbus because she's
want a knife.
She wants an OTF, out the front knife. One that pops out, and I got them, but now she wants one.
I want one.
They're not cheap because we don't buy them cheap. So
it's all right. I want one. I think I might want to be dazzled too.
But I said we might as well go to the store, pick one out.
Bedazzle it, why not?
Yes. I can bedazzle it myself if it doesn't come that way, but
like my daughter Jade, she'll
bedazzle it for me.
She'll sparkle everything.
She sparkles on everything.
Yeah.
Okay. If your life was a reality show, what would it be called?
Oh God. We joke and say that we were like a total Jerry Springer show when we first got together.
Jerry's got nothing on us.
No, he doesn't. He can sit down. What would our and we joked about this, Paula. I swear, God, we would make a great reality show because it's funny around here. Like it's entertaining. You never know what's going to happen. What would we call it?
So you say.
Freaking McConnells. As we say that
seems to be the line. And that came from her and basically my daughter-in-law. We're over at a liquor store in line to pay for some alcohol.
She and I were buying some booze, and there was a guy who was kind of looking at me weird. It was sort of making me uncomfortable after a minute.
We get a lot of that. I don't know this
guy
now.
I don't know this guy at all. And he goes, "Hey," and he'd already been drinking. You could tell. He goes, "Aren't you Chris McConnell's singer?" I said, "Yeah, I guess so." And of course,
Linda looks over and says, "Effing McConnell."
Yeah. And it just sort of stuck.
So that would be the name
that's
of
what
the
we
show.
call it, Effing McConnell's.
Effing McConnell's. I love it.
Yeah. No, it would be. Because it is wild around here. It's a crazy bunch.
If we did.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, if we did a more autobiographical movie, who would you want to play you?
Oh my.
That's a good question.
Oh wow. Who to play me? You know what? I think Sandra Bullock. She doesn't look like me, and I don't look like her, but she's got a personality that's kind of like mine. And I think
Marky Mark.
He would do me right.
Wahlberg.
Marky Mark. That'd be quite cool. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would. I think he would do a good job at it.
I think. Okay, so you heard it here. Sandra Bullock, Mark Wahlberg. You have to play Angie and Chris.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll call him up tomorrow. We'll get it going.
I know it. I know it.
I just read where he had the most physically challenging and emotional challenging.
He's disciplined.
Well, yeah,
That's not like you.
Nothing like me. No, but everything else about, the other guys, how he is in that actor.
Oh, yes.
I like his comical spirit. Yeah. He's really a funny guy.
He is.
Okay. If you owned a bar, what would you call it?
Effing McConnell's.
That's their brand. Their brand is
that's the brand.
McConnell's. You need a t-shirt that says Effing McConnell's.
Yeah.
Suds and Buds.
Yeah.
It'd be a dual.
Suds and Buds.
Bar.
I would call it Effing McConnell's. F''N McConnell's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would go.
It would.
That would be cool.
We have new branding going on.
I know it is happening right here. Oh my goodness.
Okay, in your opinion, what's the worst pizza topping?
Anchovies.
Anchovies. I'll agree on that.
Or
Agreed.
this is a competing item. Those slimy little mushrooms that come in the can.
Mushrooms.
That come in the can though.
I don't like mushrooms anyway.
I love the ones in a can. I don't like the real ones.
The real ones on pizza are the best. That I will agree. Those are the best.
The slimy ones. I like the slimy ones.
ones.
We had a pizza the other day over here in the brewery in town. And
it's delicious.
Honey. They put honey on it.
Hot honey on it. Oh my God, it's so good.
It's got a sweet.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
That's strange.
Well,
there's a place of.
Oh, I had that same look on my face when I saw hot honey, Paula. I gotta tell you, I did. I was like, "What? That doesn't." Oh man,
I'm gonna have to invite you all over, and we're gonna have to make pizzas because I make them from scratch. So we have one of those lovely ovens. So yeah, well,
yeah,
we got one of those pizza ovens, that takes pellets, and in like
90
seconds,
seconds,
you got a pizza.
Yeah.
That's cool. There's a place over here called Murdered by Pasta, and they do chocolate pizza.
What'd you say it was called? Murdered by Pastor?
Pasta, yeah. That's the translation to English.
Oh.
But it's just like a buffet place.
Nice.
You have whatever, but they have chocolate pizza, and it is just awesome.
Yeah, but
is it like on a cookie?
Pizza?
Like what's that? I hit my head.
I was like,
I mean, the best pizza is Chef Boyardee.
Proper base. Like white chocolate on it, dark chocolate on it, that sort of stuff. It's quite cool. It sounds awful, but it tastes amazing.
No, Pedro, come here.
Pedro. There you go.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi.
Pedro.
Say hi.
Hey, buddy. Come here. Come up here.
Oh,
up here.
He's mommy's.
He's my boy.
Come on, get up here.
Come here. Well, you'll have to get him because my seat, I can't lift him up. He's under my seat. He's under my seat.
Okay. we can leave him there. It's okay if he doesn't want to do it.
He's under the seat.
It's okay.
He's camera shy.
But he's so cute. He gets on my Zoom camera sometimes when I'm working.
He's a Bernedoodle.
That's what he'll do. I'm like, hey, I'm here. What you gonna do?
Nope, he's just running around. It's all good.
He does.
So good.
Anyway, chocolate pizza. That makes me want chocolate.
Chocolate pizza.
I'm thinking about how we would make this with a cookie or maybe graham cracker, chocolate. I don't know. Like
I'm gonna have to go back and take pictures for you. I'm gonna have to go back to Murder by Pasta and get some pictures for you, and then you'll be able to see
that.
Oh, I bet it's delicious.
I have to. It's amazing. But I have to get pictures so you can see it.
I was waiting for you to ask your next question. It is all you.
It's you.
No,
is it me?
No, it was the pizza topping. Remember, we got off track talking about all these pizzas and chocolate, and all I have to do is throw chocolate into a conversation. We're totally off track.
We're done.
Yeah,
no, it's like,
we're done. Sorry, forget the mic drop. We'll just chocolate drop.
That's so funny. Okay, it's my turn. Sorry, I was just not with it. I was so caught up with the chocolate pizza. That was it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, what scares you the most?
Oh gosh.
Apart from failure, what scares you?
I'm not afraid to fail.
No, that's good. I've failed too many times. That doesn't bother me anymore.
Fail often and quick. I am afraid of I guess not trying. I can't that's more fearful because then you're full of all kinds of regret, right? Even if I try something and it bombs, at least I know a way that didn't work, or I know something that I can just figure out another way to go about it. But not living, not trying.
Yeah,
that's my
in that line. I wouldn't want to be on my deathbed saying I wish I
would have done
that.
No,
we pretty much try anything, and we live life.
We do. We live every minute.
And we live like there's no tomorrow. We spend like there's no tomorrow. And for some reason, we've been blessed that there's always something there for the next day.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Which is good.
Very grateful people.
And knives, I'm scared of knives at times, but I love knives.
Such a liar. He's not.
Well, with the arsenal, let me ask my last question, and then I know Paula probably has one more. But hypothetically, let's just say I need to hide a dead body. Do you know a good hiding place?
Yeah. Yeah. All you
Not
need,
that I haven't thought
all
about
you
this,
need
but
is a shovel and a little bit of lime. You can hide it in.
yeah. Find a
I'm
friend.
just kidding.
Find a friend with a backhoe, a big backhoe.
Oh my God.
You know, near a construction site, because it just wouldn't seem right. A backhoe digging a hole in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
Yeah.
Shovel, a little bit of lime.
I love it.
Don't follow Dahmer. Don't follow his ideas. That's just wrong.
Yeah, that didn't work. No.
Yeah.
We know where they're all headed. We're just kidding. No.
Okay, last question.
All right.
What is your guilty pleasure food?
Just one. I don't know. It's probably chocolate.
anything chocolate
Yeah,
for me.
it's,
Yeah, that's and Chinese food. I love Chinese
he loves
food.
Asian cuisine.
Love it.
We have an amazing restaurant here that's Asian. It's all Asian, so it's like Chinese, Japanese, whole lot. It's amazing. It's awesome food.
Yeah. And they have robots that deliver it.
Yes, they have robots
that was
that deliver
really cool.
it as well. Yes. Oh, it was so cool. I was so excited to see the robots driving around delivering it.
That stuff. We love cooking anything Asian.
I got 3 or 4 walks.
It's
all
one
different
of those
types.
things that even if he's full, he will still shovel it in and then complain for the next 24 hours about how bad it feels. Yeah, I'm swollen. I'm bloated. I'm not gonna eat again for vegetables for a week.
Yeah. But you know what? It was an accidental week. Became a vegetarian for a whole week. It's like we didn't have meat, so let's have shish kebabs, just with vegetables. Next day it was bean soup. Next day it was stir fry. And on the 4th day, I never felt any better than I had in 20 years. And then the 5th day it was even better. And the 6th day, I decided to eat meat and celebrate for the next 2 years. So I got to get back to the vegetarian lifestyle.
Or at least meat as a side dish and not
as a side dish.
Yeah. Don't eat the whole cow.
Just eat a little bit.
Only a piece of the cow. Got it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, cook it. Yeah.
He's a mouse. This is gross to smell like.
So tell us what else is coming up for 2024 here. What exciting stuff is happening?
So we're still waiting to hear back, but we've been talking with some folks in some local larger venues, if you will, and we might land a couple or at least one opening spot for a bigger band this year. We're really excited about that. We're going to get in the studio and work on the next batch of stuff because it takes some time, so we want that ready by late summer.
Yeah.
And just play and we are very spontaneous people. If you haven't figured that out, we'll have a plan and then like a squirrel see something like change gears that quickly. But I would love now nothing is planned formally. We haven't even really talked about it seriously, but I would love to get over to Europe and play a couple places.
There's been a lot of requests for us over there.
I think that would be so much fun.
Things seem to be really moving fast in Europe.
Europe likes us and we like them too.
We got 2 more singles that'll be released off this album.
Yeah.
One should be coming out pretty soon. And then the other one just before summer. And then about midsummer, early fall, we'll release the second record. And they want, the first record was 12 songs. Now they want us to, they only want us to do about 6 songs and make each one a single.
It's a singles world,
it's a singles world,
It is.
Just like some of these algorithms, if you put a 4-minute song and it only goes, somebody listens to it 3 minutes and 58 seconds and then walks away, you don't get no credit for that. So 10-second shots, little things. But we're learning this.
He should know this though, because he is a master at watching the 5-second video clips on YouTube.
I love it.
The shorts. It's like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why we need to condense that down. Look at you. You can't tear away from it. It's like
one after the other. Boom, boom. Yeah.
Those are addicting.
It's the world we live in. People have very short attention spans these days.
Yeah. Definitely.
a lot of things are happening. Our management is really pushing us out there, and you know, you can get a lot of people to be pushed out there, but if you don't have the material, the right stuff that really, you know, relates to people, so then the idea now is, how do we put ourselves into shows everywhere? You know, live performances.
Get out there.
That's a whole nother ball game, separate from the management pushing it out there. So a lot to learn. And you would think I'd had it all learned with all these years behind me.
Brave new world.
I won a regional star search back in 1986. It was a 6-month process of elimination with states. And then you head out west and all battle each other, but we were smart enough to just take the money and run. And it's just not like it used to be. And I'm kind of lost as how we go about this. And I could see, you know, there's some local bands around here that I look at their videos and I'm like, wow, how'd they do that? You know? So we're learning. That's the best part. You know, fun. The journey is better than the prize at the end. You know, you got to learn to enjoy the ride, and that's where we're at.
We are
definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's a good idea. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride.
It's all about the journey.
It can be bumpy, but it's going to be fun.
I love it. That's great.
It was great having you on today, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having us. It was great to meet you both.
We'd love to.
And Paula, you said you're in Spain?
I'm in Spain, yeah.
You're in Spain? Oh. Chris's grandfather was from Spain.
Spaniard. Yeah.
Ah, cool. What part of Spain?
Indian.
Pedro Gonzalez.
Okay.
Yeah, Pedro. And then he married a Yaqui Indian. And here I am. I consider myself a brown man.
So you just...
Nobody believes me.
Can't take it.
Yeah, the funny thing is, a lot of people at school didn't know that I, you know, the ethnicity of my past, and then I made a comment on Facebook dealing with Caucasians, and then all these Mexicans came in. You know, you're Mexican.
All of his cousins are like, "Hey, you're not white."
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, all my friends are just treating me differently. You know,
silliness,
crazy.
Crazy. Anyway, but no, it was great to be here. Thanks so much for having us.
We enjoyed this.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. You're always welcome back.
Thank you.
Right, well, thank you very much.
And thank you, friends, for joining us for another episode. Have a great day.
We will.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.